Prof to Sierra Comic Con. I'm here with with Aram, one of the representatives for Sony. Just got my hands on the PlayStation 4. Really solid controller. Now, can I ask you, what difference, what did you guys look into when designing the PS4 controller?
Well, that's actually, it kind of ties back into the whole story with the console itself. But from years ago when the PS4 kind of was conceived, we went to our development partners, we went studio to studio, we asked questions about what they wanted to see, not just in the hardware, but in the DualShock 4. And so what you see is this evolution. For the first time in over 15 years, the controller, the actual design of it is different. It fills your hand differently. And so it's from top to bottom. We can talk about the touchpad because it might be the first thing that people see. There's a 1920 by 900 super high resolution input. And did you think about like a screen at that size and how high res the pixel input is? So extremely precise, and that's actually a button that depresses, and it opens up a whole new world of interface opportunities.
Yeah, because I noticed that when I was playing NAC, I was just kind of flipping the button. I didn't notice it clicked in a little bit.
Absolutely. Though you'll notice the controller is actually a little larger, a little wider. Again, it doesn't taper as much, so it fills your hands better. They talked about actually creating a jumbo-sized version of a prototype and putting it in the hands of a normal sized hand to see what it might be like for someone who's a little younger playing. So every possible aspect of the controller was conceived. The R2 and L2 triggers, they've always long kind of curved downward on the DualShock 3 and previous iterations, and a lot of people said when they set their controller down, it would knock one of those triggers and register an input. So the R2 and L2 curve outward now, and the point at which they pivot is actually further up. So it's a little easier to depress them. They're a little tighter, more precise. The analogs are tighter and more precise as well, and they actually ridge on the edges so your thumbs don't slide off as much.
And I noticed one of the issues with the PS3 controller, like when you would go in like that, your thumbs always hit together.
You're not going to have that happen anymore. So people have talked about that, but we've had people with all kinds of hand sizes come in. You know, people would say they have really big hands, and they all have kind of unanimously sung the controller's praises. And you know, there's little stuff too. The rumble feedback is far more precise now. The developers have a lot more in terms of what they can do, and even something like on the DualShock 2, the DualShock 3, and the iteration previous for the PlayStation 2, we had pressure-sensitive face buttons, and those are actually just normal digital buttons now. What we found was that it wasn't a feature that was being used very often. It increased latency, and it also changed the tactile feel of the button. So now they're going to have a lot more, kind of a more precise tactile feel, and it's going to reduce overall input latency as well.
I did also notice that the thumbsticks now, you can't just like pull them out or anything, like with the PS3.
Well, hopefully people aren't going and trying to pull them out. They're not designed to go that way anyways.
Well,
but
with the PS3, you can kind of pull on it and it would kind of push up.
Pop out.
And this one doesn't do it anymore.
Well, it's the next evolution in every way.
Yeah, then I also played your guys' game Mac, and I was actually impressed because at first I was kind of going, looks a little bit kiddie, but actually it seems pretty innovative, and I did enjoy that a lot.
Well, it's in a lot of subtle ways it shows off the power of the PS4. There's so much physics going on with Knack. He's this creature. He's kind of built of all the parts that he absorbs as he breaks things, and he can break down to small size, build up, to become the size of building. And
yeah, because I noticed like you can destroy different stuff, and it will actually add to your armor.
And the different kinds of materials you absorb actually will change kind of the abilities that you have and your overall properties. So there's laser beams you have to go through. You break down, and you're kind of a translucent version of yourself, your smallest version. You can go through laser beam. It's an action platformer. It's a little bit of God of War, a little bit of Katamari Damacy, and people, you know, of all ages that we've seen are walking away and they're smiling.
And another question I had is, since the controller has that bar and everything, is that going to affect the battery life on the controller?
The light bar. So the light bar that's something that's been taken into consideration. It's super low power consumption, and I mean with LED and stuff like that, you don't have a lot of issues where a light's going to really affect things. But it's one of those ways. It's like the touchpad. There's a lot of possibilities for how it can be used. We've talked about a few of them as we talked about the system, and we're really excited for more and more of those opportunities to kind of come to the forefront as developers unlock the potential.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, one thing I was curious about, because as we all heard, the PS4 does not come with that camera. I was curious, will that affect any early adopters at all, or future buyers of the system?
In what way?
Will there be some games that will require you to have that camera?
Well, it's certainly possible there might be a game that's designed to take advantage of the camera, and obviously, if that's the case, it would certainly be indicated. We wanted. when you look at the offering for the PS4 this holiday season, it's $399 for the most powerful gaming system on the market.
Fantastic, because if you were to build a PC for that price, you'd be spending at least $1,000 or so.
Absolutely. You have 8 gigs of blazing fast GDDR5 memory. You have a low power consumption 8-core APU. It's where basically you have a supercharged gaming console for the future, and it's an amazingly competitive price. There are going to be amazing games and gaming experiences built on the motion capabilities and the kind of spatial capabilities of the PlayStation 4 camera and its dual HD 3D cameras. But we're not going to have it bundled in. It's going to be something you can purchase separately, and yeah, there will be great games that take advantage of it, and we don't really anticipate it'll be a barrier to entry.
And of course, the release window, as all most gamers know, is still going to be holiday 2013.
Right now, yeah, we talk about holiday 2013. As we get closer to that time frame, maybe we'll be talking about something more specific. But we're excited to be here at Comic-Con with the first hands-on for the public, and hopefully we'll have more opportunities throughout the year.
All right, thank you. So,
absolutely.
This is Prof. Toast at the Sony booth, signing out.